What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I got to have that Tiege pack. Tiege makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tiege Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tiege pack. Feel the Tiege, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tapping in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels, and I am excited to be before you guys today. Yes, we back in the studio. What up? Shout out to everybody that's in the building. I appreciate you guys. Apparently, AT&T was out today. We're going to talk about it. How y'all feel? Can I get a mental health check in the chat? Can I get a mental health check in the chat to see what the people feeling like, what the general sentiment of the people is? Can I get a mental health check in the chat? What up, sis? What up, Ari? What up, True to Myself? Kojak, Brittany B is in the building. Cartez Cookies, Wealth Building Journey. What up? How y'all know what color shirt? Y'all can see that? Is the cameras that clean? Yeah, you can see the navy blue. I'm navy blue in the day. I don't got on all black. I'm feeling good. Ingus Klaus, Joe Gunn. Great, Ilmatic, highly favored, feeling awesome, peaceful, nervous, optimistic. You really, hold on, let me see what y'all talking about. Let me see something. Anton, you really don't miss, feeling good. Rejuvenated, says sister, I don't miss. Focused, happy to make it to the show today. Great, nervous. What are you nervous about, Enos? Why y'all nervous? I guess nervous could be a good thing. Blessed. Optimistic, focused, wonderful, money, fantastic. Blessed, says Ari. What up, Ari? Trap says great, tired, and sore. Hopefully it ain't from doing something you ain't supposed to do, Rainbow Kid. Focused, embracing the hardship. Embracing the hardship. What does that mean? What does that mean? Tell me what embracing the hardship means. I need to understand that before we deep dive into that. Busy, what up, though? Shout out to Exodia, the God, said, what up, though? I know you from Detroit. Roxy says, good. Blessed, feeling great on this 43rd B-Day. Hey, can we get a round of applause for the distinguished gentleman for the 43rd B-Day? Shout out to you. Running it up, says your car, my guy. Hustling hard, magnificent. Phone still out. Noah's arcing. Noah's arcing. This is the arc right here. This is the arc right here. Feeling alive and purposeful, says McCole. Blessed. Snowy and hiding in the house. Where you at? optimistic, Navy SEAL, great, spectacular, headache, inspirational, blessed, says Mika. What up, Mika? Awesome. What up, Yolanda Walker? Full, spin kicking, motivated and blessed, peaceful, peaceful. Hey, family. Eyes tired, boss. Better, sore, remorseful, feeling great, excited. Welcome to the people for the first time making the lives. I appreciate y'all for being here. You in for a great show. You rocking that Michigan Blue. Shout out to Michigan Blue. Go Blue is in the building. Alive, determined. Hello from Toledo. Shout out to my Ohioans. I appreciate y'all eating Chick-fil-A this early. That must have been last night's leftovers. Better. Let me see something. I want to see why y'all be feeling nervous and down. Life is good, alive, honored. Happy birthday to everybody whose birthday is this month in February. It's been a very expensive month for me specifically. But happy birthday. What up? Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with me. Let me read some of these early super chats and cash apps because I don't ask for it, but I do have to appreciate you guys for adding value into the show. Can I get a round of applause for Big M Dub? Shout out to my dog, Big M Dub, for the fireball. Thank you for supporting the platform. Mike, that dude, Jason Martin, I don't like that. Jason. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Mike, that dude, says, thank you for the value you provide, bro. Shout out to Mike, that dude. Thank you, Mike, that dude, for holding me down. I'll be reading those throughout the show. Let me acknowledge some cash apps or some super chats before we get started. Bricked Out Media says, been a bag chaser for going on 2 years now. Changed my life. Changed my life. If you're not in the Patreon, you're severely missing out. Thanks, Anton, for all that you do. And with that being said, let me give a round of applause for all of my bag chasers and Patreon members. Because you guys are running it up. You leveraging the information that we're using. You taking my transparency and you're applying it to your life. You're using the Discord to your advantage. Speaking of that, I'm going to be killing the Facebook group. And we only going to rock out with the Discord. We got to go out with the old and we got to roll with the new. We getting out with the old and we rolling with the new. So any posts related to the Facebook group, we're going to kill that. We're going to focus 100% of our energy on the Discord, all right? Link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. Link to the Patreon is in the description of this video. Do not miss out. Okay? So we're going to rock out like that. Shout out to Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift for supporting the platform. We appreciate you, Tiege, for always rocking out. Shout out to Bricked Out Media for you to continue to leverage that $15 and $9 tier to get to the bag. $15, $9, that's crazy. Ari says, good morning, AD and the Chasers in the chat. Shout out to Ari. Tapped in on the Anton Daniels show. Did y'all hear what we was talking about last night in my little soliloquy when I was talking about Room 9? Does anybody know if they were a Room 9 kid or do they just think that they was regular? Or are you hiding it? Room 9 is something that we talked about last night. Never mind. If you missed the live show last night, if you missed a Wednesday night show, it's part truth, part entertainment, part comedian. I might even be testing out some stuff from my recent stand-up. How many of y'all know about paying attention to the Room 9? Don't worry about it. We'll get there. Shout out to P. Shank says, good morning, Mr. Anton Daniels, the MMS show. I love it. Enjoy your day. Yeah. Noble Xavier says, what's up, Anton? Where did Martin record his show? Is it Detroit? I don't know. It was supposed to be set in Detroit, but I don't know. You asking the wrong person. I have no clue. Strong Room 9 kids. Gotta love Silverado says, what's going on in Detroit with the migrants? Nothing. I don't see no migrants over here, and I'm in the city every single day. Speaking my mind said, Anton is not crazy. He is just ahead of the curve. 100% ahead of the curve. You better believe it. Bitcoin Brown says, shout out to AD and the Chasers. Every day we get continued level of game and gems. Thanks, boss. Shout out to the Chasers. Man, y'all killing it out here in these streets. Again, if you're not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Y'all ready to get started with the show? Well, we gonna pivot, right? We not gonna do the normal quick hits. We just gonna speak to what's happening, the most recent thing that's happening today, because I really, really want to get straight into the show because I got some thoughts that I don't want to let get away from me. But if y'all have not, hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. So first things first, AT&T. So I woke up this morning and I was thinking to myself, what is wrong with my phone? Why does it say SOS? I know I paid my bill. I know my phone ain't getting cut off. Not as the lead bag chaser. Not as the lead bag chaser. I said, I know my phone ain't getting cut off. No, sirree. So let me give you all a recent update of what they're reporting as it relates to AT&T, because I'm hearing that it's also affecting Verizon customers, but AT&T also the most. So I just want to give you all a quick update before we get into the show. I'll be reading Super Chat shortly of what's happening out here in these streets, man. All right. Oh, wait. Y'all can't see that? Y'all can hear that?
Their frustrations online.
Okay, so wait. It sounds like y'all can't hear what's going on with the video. Let me see something. Let me make sure that that's working.
About this outage. We first started to see this outage take place around 2:30 this morning, and according to a Down Detector website, there are more than 30,000 outages.
Y'all can't hear this?
Outages are taking place in different big cities across the nation.
I want to make sure y'all can hear it. Let me make sure. Let me rewind that to make sure y'all get the full thing. All right. I want to make sure that everybody can hear it.
Breaking right now, if you're up and have AT&T as your cell phone provider, you may not have service.
Software issue. Not me, it's a software issue.
Do. Some people in the newsroom do not have it at all. Appears to be a nationwide outage, though, impacting cell phones and possibly internet, too. Let's go right to Darius Johnson, live in the newsroom.
I appreciate the chat for holding me down. This is why chat lives matters.
AT&T into Google, it finished off my words with service outage, so a lot of people searching for this.
Just AT, boom. It was
And easily, if you go to x.com, you can see many people starting to express their frustrations online about this outage. We first started to see this outage take place around 2:30 this morning.
Hold on. J-Dubs. This is not about whether or not this young man has sugar in his tank. We don't judge. You can't just automatically say that he's SC. Y'all can't do that. Y'all can't do that. Listen, chat lives matters. But y'all just listen. We trying to find out what's going on with the AT&T outage and the cell phone outage, and y'all talking about whether or not he got sugar in his tank. He do look like he smoked weed. I ain't even gonna front. They need to drug test this young man. His lips is a little too black, a little too crusty and black. You gonna have to pick a struggle. You gotta pick. I hate this show. I hate y'all. I absolutely, positively don't like y'all. This is why I'm about to mute. I'm about to completely remove the chat. I'm removing the chat because we supposed to be talking about the AT&T outage. Now we judging. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let's just back up for a minute. We got to be informative. I know that we. No, listen. This is I hate the Millionaire Morning Show. This is the most unruly morning show that I've ever had that I've ever witnessed in my entire life. This is why I can't get my $30 million, because every time I look in the chat, y'all over here talking about, oh, he got too many S's in his speech. Oh, not in the beginning of the show. This is supposed to happen in the middle towards the end of the show. Not at the beginning of the show, y'all. Come on, y'all. We got to focus. I didn't make y'all this way. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. It's not me. I'm not saying it. I don't know what he is. I don't believe that he is. He just talk with a little bit of a lisp. His S's carry a little bit too much. His T's is not as pronounced. Come on, y'all. Let's focus. Focus, man. We got to find out what's going on with AT&T.
So a lot of people searching for this.
Somebody said a zestitarian. I hate you guys. Y'all are the worst audience in the world. What is going on with my people? God, this is the worst morning show ever. Why can't we be more like Good Morning America? How come we can't be more like the regular news? Why is we sitting here talking about what the zest meter is? Jesus Christ.
Boom. It was
Ladies, I thought y'all liked it. Liked this. Oh my God. Come on, Anton. Get it together. Look at him. What is he doing? Oh, what is he doing? Why is his chin up like that? All right, come on, y'all. Let's focus.
And easily, if you go to x.com, you can see many people.
I think I might skip this part of the show. I can't. It's too hard to get through it. It's too hard. Jesus be offense. You know my heart, Lord. You know my heart, Lord. You know that I'm trying to report about the AT&T outage. And I'm sitting here with my chat and my people, and even my back chasers is out here. And they over here distracting me. Lord, let me finish. I'm switching to a whole nother stream. I can't do it. Not this early. Jesus. Be offense.
People starting to express their frustrations online about this outage. We first started to see this outage take place around 2:30 this morning, and according to a Down Detector website, there are more than 30,000 outages, and the outages are taking place in different big cities across the nation: Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Atlanta. However, we're still exactly trying to figure out exactly what caused this outage. Now, take a walk with me. We wanted to tell you exactly how we figured this out this morning. It was someone on our assignment desk who was checking her phone, just trying to see if she could make a call earlier this morning. She noticed that it said SOS on her phone, and I'm going to show you it right here. This is what many people are going to be waking up to. You can see right in the corner where it says SOS, and although she is connected to Wi-Fi, she still has not been able to connect to the internet or anything else, or even make calls. At one point, we tried to even dial 911 to see if she could connect with emergency services. That was not possible. So we're still working to figure out exactly what has prompted.
Did y'all hear the way they said emergency services? Now, I say emergency services like, yo, y'all gonna have me saying emergency services a little bit more tough. Yo, son, you call emergency services, bro? Well, the way he say emergency services is different, though.
Services, that was tried to even dial 911 to see if she could connect with emergency services. That
you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time I do the Millionaire Morning Show, God is my witness. I pray to God that he don't take me down another tier in heaven. I pray to God. I say, Lord, don't reduce me. Don't take my level down. Don't take a jewel out of my crown, because I got to deal with all of these people. I got to deal with these people. Don't take me down another level. I'm just skating in right now. If I do any more shows, I'm not going to make it, Jesus.
That was not possible. So we're still working to figure out exactly what has prompted the outage. We're also working to figure out if this outage is impacting emergency services as well, as many of them may be.
What is that? What is...
is impacting emergency services as well, as many.
All I can't do this. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I can't do it. I'm done. Point of the matter is AT&T phones is having problems. If you're having connection issues, it's because it ain't got nothing to do with you. It's got something to do with the system. It's not your phone. You didn't mess up your phone bill. It's not you. Don't worry about it. Listen, we got diversity, equity, and inclusion in the newsroom. It's in information technology. It's in social media. It's everywhere. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Listen, you can smoke weed. You can sleep who you want to sleep with. You can do whatever you want to do when you want to do. Just make sure that you correct the way that you pronounce emergency services. Emergency services. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your quick hits. Oh, God. Bless me to make it through this show, Lord. Be offense in Jesus' name. All right. Let me read some of these super chats. And then we going to really get started with the show, okay? We got a full show. Sponsored by Tiege Hanley. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Lester's AMG says, need a pep talk to stop me from buying that C6. Don't you buy that C63. Don't buy that C63. AMG. Don't do it. It's going to be there. They're going to make another one next year. They're going to make another one the year after that. Don't do it. Invest in yourself. Tap into the Patreon. Shout out to my Canadians in the building. Mayor Mike Razor says, fruit or gnaw? Self-made forever says 80. They just cut my cricket AT&T back on after 4 hours. Did you see the 6-year-old girl who dug in the sand on Florida Beach and it turned into quicksand and she passed? Almost. No, send that to me. I haven't seen that one. I haven't heard about that one at all. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. Noble Xavier says, Freaky Jason, is that you? Pretty Boy says, come on over and switch to T-Mobile. Nah, I'm a pass. I'm going to go ahead and roll with my AT&T, as faulty as they are. They've been focused on me. Zach says, we ghetto fabulous over here. Ain't that the truth? Smoking weed and everything. Iceberg Slim says, homie zest levels are off the charts. Woo! Y'all need a strong father in y'all life. Organized Truth says, I have a question regarding good investments for retirement. What are your thoughts on having one of the 3 deferred annuities, fixed, index, and hybrid annuities, along with a 401k, IRA, and life insurance? Be honest with you. Listen, I don't look at life insurance. Let's start from the back, and I'm going to just try to get to this really quickly. Good question. I don't look at life insurance as a retirement vehicle. I look at life insurance as exactly what it's intended for, life insurance. I know that there's a lot of people that leverage life insurance or leverage being able to pull money out of it in order to try to make investments or live a life or whatever like that. I do believe in IRAs and individual retirement accounts. You can fund those up to, I believe, $6,500. If you're married, it's $7,000. 401ks, if you're going to roll with a 401k, if you can, at the very least, minimally go up to whatever it is that your company match is. If you can swing it, go with a Roth 401k because it allows for you to pay the taxes now so that you can basically grow your entire portfolio tax-free. Life insurance is exactly that, life insurance. And then your last investment vehicle for retirement don't have to be anything in particular. It's supposed to be the thing that ultimately allows for you to live the life that you want to live long-term. So my long-term strategy, and I don't want to give away the Patreon game that I got from a video that's coming this weekend that I've been recording, but I got a 3-tier system. Long story short, my retirement vehicle, my big-time retirement vehicle, has nothing to do with how it is that I'm putting money into those. Those are just taking advantage of, the tax code and making sure that I can grow my portfolio because it's free money, right? A Roth 401k, being able to grow interest-free, is free money. It adds into my net worth and my portfolio. But my long-term investment strategy with regard to retirement is real estate. Everything else is extra. I'm not saving for it. It's real estate. It's my stock portfolio. It's the companies that I'll be continuing to get dividends from. So That's my retirement strategy. That's a phenomenal question. Thank you for the question. Enos Luby says, on my way to Belgium, spent the last year working towards his weekend, 2 big races to cover. Finally, I'll be able to interview the big name riders and interviews in a race report thanks to Natasha. Natasha is one of the most phenomenal moderators. She is a part of, she oversees the Discord. She really helps me out when it comes to the Patreon. Shout out to Natasha. Gotta love Silverado says AT&T has bad services. I disagree. I've never had a problem with AT&T until this morning. Wind Up Ball says the outage is probably a switch. AVC Technologies out of bankruptcy on February 15 as shareholders about to get paid out. Candy Cloud buyout, $30 to $60 billion deal any day now. I have to do some research on that. Iceberg Slim says he's been delivered. Toxin says emergency services. Y'all a mess. The chat is hell today. Cody Marshall just said it. Nope, I'm not going to hell today. Nope. I had to get up off of that. Levi the Pearl says, Anton, stop. It ain't me, it's y'all. Solution Trucking Channel, shout out to you, says my service just came back on. Mine did too. I just got all of my bars. Trap and Slay says, him downstairs. I want some milk and cookies. Shout out to Bernie Mac. Rest in peace to the Mac. Antonio Watkins says, I have my AT&T phone. Have AT&T my phone. Just got service 2 minutes ago. Right at the tail end of Anton talking about it. See? It's me. I got y'all phones turned back on. Prince Elian says, I embrace and appreciate my hardships for the valuable lessons they have and currently teach me. I don't see them as curses, but as gifts for success. And make sure that it's not self-inflicted also. Last but not least, my dog Blaze Skywalker says, how do you feel about the Bears having women for their new offensive coach? Send it to me. Send it to me. I'm curious as to what that looked like. Anton Daniels 41. Anything y'all need to get in touch with me by, business related, coaching, anything, make sure y'all email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. All right? So let's go ahead and get started with the show. First things first, I heard that Tiffany Henyard is out here retaliating against the people. She just can't get right. I seen somebody in the chat, they said, man, I can't wait for her to go to jail. I don't wish jail on nobody. I don't wish jail on nobody. I don't wish being broke. I don't wish jail. I don't wish it on anybody. Now, if somebody continues to have self-inflicted wounds to where they cause it for themselves, then that's different. But I don't wish jail on anybody. I don't want nobody to just go to jail because I want them to go to jail. Right? I just don't have it in me to wish it, to will it, to want to say anything. And I want to. Mel Duke, I get articles all day long sent to me from all over the globe about all different issues on a regular basis. And I have to source through and figure out, okay, what do I want to talk about today? Is this something that's relevant to what it is that we're doing? And how can I add value into the people's lives? Right? Honestly, that's my thing. And I pray before I open up my email and I start talking about or looking at what's going on, right? And I'm just saying, bro, like, she can't even get out of her own way. She can't even get out of her own way. And that's sad. Because she don't have to be in this position. It's like arrogance. You know, it reminds me of Pharaoh. And honestly reminds me of Pharaoh, because if you read the story, and in order for God to continue to perform the miracles, and you had Moses and Aaron, and they was up there saying, let my people go. You know what I'm saying? And every time he would go through something, it would seem as though, yeah, he about to release the people, and then it would say that his heart got hardened again. The heart of him got hardened until he just continuously broke himself all the way down to where he had no other choice. The heart was hardened, and it's almost like her heart is hardened, honestly. And I don't understand it. It's like, walk away. Even Diddy was like, you know what? Let me take a little hiatus. I messed up the money. I was out here having freak offs. I'm out here doing what it is that I'm doing on a regular basis, and it's not working. Let me just sit down for a minute. Russell Simmons went into hiding over in India or Indonesia somewhere. Diddy is over there just growing his hair out, and he probably looking crazy out here in these streets. The first thing that you do is you just be quiet, because if you quiet long enough, it'll go over to somebody else. Somebody else will do something where, oh, okay, that was yesterday news. Ain't nobody even checking for that no more. Just don't talk about it. Just don't talk about it. But this woman can't get out of her own way. And every single time that I wake up and I see what's going on out in these streets, the first thing that I see is Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany put her name on a billboard. Tiffany released a new video celebrating herself. Tiffany retaliating against the businesses. Bars is raided all of a sudden as soon as they started talking to the FBI.
Well, more controversy is brewing in south suburban Dolton.
So last night, police shut down 2 popular bars. One trustee says the reason? Because they're not financially supporting Dolton's mayor, Tiffany Henyard. Our Dane Placco has more.
Is it coincidence or retaliation? Both of the Dolton bars that were raided and shut down last night, we visited the day before as part of our ongoing investigation into allegations of political corruption in Dolton.
They just rushed in here, put police at the front of the door like they was doing a raid on a drug house or something.
A team of Dolton police officers raided and shut down Pablo's Bar and Cafe and Rinky's Bar and Cafe, both located on Sibley, about a block apart.
Everything going peacefully, nothing going on. It's like 10 police cars came in and they start pushing customers from here. And he said, if you don't leave, we're gonna lock you up.
Employees and owners say it's part of an ongoing campaign of harassment by Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard that is costing jobs and money. Their business licenses have been stripped by Dolton, but they've continued to operate with a state license.
I have like over 23 employees. They work from the local township. Now, end of the day, all the employees, they're gonna lose their job.
It's ridiculous. We all have mouths to feed. We all have kids. They're not giving us no explanation.
On Monday, we visited both Rinky's and Pablo's to ask about allegations their licenses were being held up for political reasons. Then last evening, we broke the story that FBI agents have questioned at least a half-dozen people, including business owners, a former Dolton employee, and an elected official, as part of an investigation into Mayor Henyard. Less than 2 hours after our story aired, police raided the 2 bars.
Someone seen you go in there, and then 2 hours after your story airs, that police are at both of these establishments.
Dolton trustee Tammy Brown says she believes the raids are meant to send a warning to others not to talk. And she believes there's a reason so many Dolton businesses are having trouble getting their licenses renewed.
I'm sure that they were asked to donate, make a donation, and most likely they didn't make a donation. So you don't get a chance to stay open if you don't pay the Queen's ransom.
Now, tomorrow evening, there will be a special public meeting of the trustees who are opposed to the mayor, in which they plan to take action on the village's finances, getting access to Village Hall. They've been locked out, and welcoming that investigation by federal agencies. Dane Placco, Fox 32 Chicago.
All right, so let's back up for a minute, y'all. Let's back up for a minute, and let's just really put this in perspective. Okay, let's just talk about this for a minute. This is stuff that you see in the movies. You don't see this happening in real life. Like, we watch this in Casino and Goodfellas, you know, and documentaries about what happened with the mob and Al Capone and what was going on in Chicago and the Detroit bosses and the New York bosses, and they all went, and the St. Louis bosses, and they all met together in order to. You don't see this happening in real life. From a woman. From a woman. Now, let me tell you why it's so bad. Okay? Let me tell you why it's so bad. The first reason why it's bad is because she's killing her own city. She's killing businesses in her own city. I need to prop you up. Okay. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example from a very basic C student's perspective, okay? My job is to add value into your lives. The reason why, and people can't understand, why is Anton's Patreon so popular? Why is Anton's Patreon so popular? is because I'm so focused at every turn on add value into your life. Now, people will hit me up and they will say, well, Anton, I won this, or Anton, I've been successful in this, or you helped me in this. What can I do for you? And then I say to them in return, and everybody can always say this, everybody knows I've never taken a dollar from nobody. I've never invested nobody else's money, none of that. I just give you the information to do it yourself. I'm teaching you how to fish. And then I say to people, well, the way that you can help me is by making sure that you continue to get rich and be successful. And the reason that I do that is because I understand that the reason why you patronize me is because I'm already adding value into your life. Now, how is that relevant to Tiffany Henyard, right? Because her success is largely dependent on the residents. Any politician, any business person, any person that runs a company, any person that's a part of a professional organization understands your success is my success. And so if the businesses thrive, if people make more money, if everybody get rich, if everybody become more successful, if the property values go up and the taxes go down and your businesses thrive, the reason why cities and residents, the reason why these cities and these municipalities, they give away these properties. So some people will say, well, man, it was giving away a property for $1 or $1,000, is because the city can't do nothing with it on its rolls, because they can't collect any money. They can't get any tax revenue. They can't get any property taxes. You can't bolster the schools. The schools become worse as a result of it. The police force, you start having budget deficits. You got to have cuts. Businesses don't want to do business there. Why they give you tax incentives to open up businesses so that you can have and create jobs that people then pay taxes on the tax rolls in order for you to continue to be successful. And then ultimately you get reelected. You become a legend. Everybody wins when everybody wins. That's the idea. Everybody wins when everybody wins. When you rich, when you get money, I become more successful because you now are a reflection of me, which allows for me to do more business and make even more money, not from you or off of you, but because of how it is that I've poured into you. And this is the thing that politicians don't understand. They think that you're there to serve them, but they're there to serve you. This is what's wrong with the black community in a general sense. Which then feeds over into why people chase power so much. If you pour into me because I'm pouring into you, we both win. But instead, we operate like crabs in a barrel, and then we got this mob mentality that says that we gonna take over everything and destroy everything. At the very least, the mob back in the day, if you understand them and you study them and you studied the casinos and the Goodfellas and the Al Capones and the Teamsters unions and stuff, even though they were corrupt, even though they strong-armed, even though they did things crooked, even though they was absolutely horrible in how it is that they implemented and took over power, they still provided a service. They provided protection. They didn't let nobody else shake them down. Now, some people got greedy and all of that, and we can get into that. But the idea of why people bought into it and why people wanted to be a part of the organization in the first place is because there was a sense of family, community, and protection from outside sources, especially when you talked about the police departments, white people at the time. You know, they were trying to compete for different neighborhoods. And so the people could go to whoever the mob bosses were and say, hey, listen, I'm having a problem and this and that and so on and so forth. And they would try to be fair in order to solve for the problem. And then as a result, you had to pay dues. She provides no value. She destroys her city. She gets pissed off. And when she gets pissed off, she leverages the police department against it. Now, here's my other question. Why are the police and why are people supporting her? She is literally Nino. She wants to be a mob boss. She wants to be Nino Brown. She want to go by. She want to build an ice rink. I seen a little whack video of her love at the club at the ice rink where she had somebody playing a saxophone and then she had the little things. That don't mean nothing. That's like giving away a turkey while you poisoning your community. This is the worst mayor. And it just so happened to be a small town mayor. Thank God, because if it's a large town mayor, it makes it even worse. This is the worst mayor I've ever seen in my entire life. By far. Drunk with power. disrespectful, taking people's livelihoods, doing pay for play, raiding people's businesses, messing up the money, raising the taxes, operating out of a deficit, and using the people's money in order to live a lavish lifestyle. This is quite possibly the worst example, and I'm telling you, we're going to witness it in real time. We've watched it since its inception, and we're going to watch the downfall. We've watched it since its inception, and we're going to watch the downfall. Don't she know that they just letting her destroy herself? That they just letting the evidence pile up? And because she ain't been contacted, but everybody else started being contacted, that's when you're supposed to get a little bit nervous. That's when you get scared. Wait a minute. Police called you? Oh no, FBI is talking to you? They talked to 12 people? They talked to all of y'all that was asking questions? What? But they haven't contacted you at all. They ain't talked to you at all because they letting you do what you do. They're letting you take yourself down. This is quite possibly the worst thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. The most biggest, and you know what makes it worse? Is because it's self-inflicted. It's 100% self-inflicted. This isn't even something that like she gonna be surprised about. This is something that everybody, she's watching this. Her people watching this right now. She watching it right now. What up, Tiff? What up, little Tiff? What up, Tink Tink? Don't you know you a fool? Don't you know you the most ignorant woman that I've ever witnessed and watched be so disrespectful to yourself that I've ever heard of in my entire life? Don't you realize, let me talk to you for a minute, because I had to talk to Fannie Willis before we started to see that downfall. Let me talk to you for a minute. Don't you realize, let me get the full view. Don't you realize, ma'am, that you are a representation of, especially when you start to get visibility and get power, and you're a community leader and a community servant, and you start to be at the forefront of the congregation. Don't you know that you're a representation of black women? I can't do the stuff that regular people do because I'm held to a higher standard and I have a responsibility to serve the people and be a reflection of the thing that I'm advocating for. I can't do that. You can't do that. You are supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to be the inspiration behind some little black girl that feels like she could be mayor of a city or better yet, be president one day. Would I ever let my daughter shadow you for a day? Absolutely not. Because you are the worst thing for the community. You are absolutely, positively despicable. Drunk with power, disrespectful, not a servant leader, and you let the devil use you. You are the devil. You let the devil use you. Using you. And then he gonna discard you. And you sold your whole city out for what? A couple $100,000? A couple $100,000? You shut down jobs. You leveraged the police department. You stole from the people. Don't you realize that ain't even your money? That ain't even like an institutional investor's money. That's not a bank's money. That's the people's money. The people pay their property taxes so they can have somewhere to live. Then they can have somewhere that they hopefully can have their kids go to school because the money goes into the schools. And you over here using it like you some kind of mob boss, like you Nino Brown, like you Sam Rothstein. What's wrong with you? Wake up before it's too late. Because then you're going to be blaming the people. You're going to blame the system. It's because I'm a black woman. No, it's because you a fool. You a whole fool and nothing but a fool. And unfortunately, not enough people around you love you. Your people don't love you because if they did love you, if your father loved you, I don't know who your mama is, if your friends loved you, if the people that actually had your best interests at heart loved you, they would sit you down and say, shut the up and stop doing the stuff that you're doing. They using you. Don't you realize that the people that's around you is using you? They destroying you because they benefiting off of you and you think that you doing something because you got a little bit of visibility, you got a little bit of power. This is why the Bible itself says you got to be faithful over little before you become ruler over much. A lot of y'all are praying for success. A lot of y'all are praying for greatness. A lot of y'all praying for a great man. Some of y'all are praying for a phenomenal job. Some of y'all are praying for more money, more power, more opportunity, be able to travel and do all of these things. God can't give it to you if you then call yourself a saint of God because he don't want to give you more than you can handle. He said, be faithful over little before I make you ruler over much. Prove yourself to be faithful over this thing. You could have been phenomenal. You could have been the greatest thing of all time, and you ruined it. You messed it up because you don't know how to control yourself, and you let yourself get drunk with power. The little bit of power, you ain't even making no money. You ain't even got no money. The salary that you got, what you think that you getting, we spend that in a month. We spend that in a month. That ain't even no money to us. You let the power go to your head and you ain't even getting a bag from it. That's why the saints can't grow, because they don't understand that it's rules to the game and you can't skip steps when it comes to what success looks like. You can't sell your soul. He's not going to let you embarrass the word of God. He's not going to let you embarrass the kingdom because you want it. He's not going to give you what you want just because you want it. He's going to give you what you need so you can get to it. So then when you have to suffer before you get to the successes, that's God teaching you the lesson, because your character going to keep you where your talent can't take you. Your character is going to keep you where your talent can't take you. You got it. You could be successful. You could be great, but it's other people that's passing you by every day, and it's only for two reasons. The first reason is because they from the devil. They got they stuff from the devil. It ain't a blessing if you get it from the devil. It's just something that you get and that's not best for you. And it feels good at the moment, but it's going to ruin you later. It's either because they got it from the devil or they got the character and they got it from God and they didn't skip steps. And so their character is going to keep them where their talent is taking them. That's the only way you can get it. It's only two ways. It ain't no middle road. Ain't no coasting. Ain't no middle class when it comes to right or wrong. It's black or white, right or wrong. Either you're going to get it from there and you're going to try to take shortcuts and skip steps, or you're going to get it from here and you're going to do it the right way and get the character, the blessings, the love, the accolades, and you're going to make it to heaven, and you're going to do the thing that's right for the people as a result of it. It's only two ways. And clearly you picked one way, and we know which way that is, because you won't humble yourself long enough to do the thing that's in the best interest of the residents. And we watching it in real time. Everybody can see it but you. Everybody can see it but you. And I prayed for your monkey butt. That's the worst part about it, because I sat there and I sent up a prayer for you. Had me take my prayers back. Had me taking my prayers back. Disrespectful to the people in your own city. Seminole 2014 says, Nate the lawyer made a vid the other day about Teflon Tiff allegedly ordering a hit on a board member that opposed her. Hit was caught on camera. Really? Shout out to Nate the lawyer. I'm going to have to check that out. Send that to me in my email, y'all. Cody Marshall says she's saying to them, get down or lay down. And they all fall eventually. Cuddy says, I got this fab ball for you, big dog. Shout out to Cuddy. Miss Crotty Shetty in the building says, keep it up. Thank you, Miss Crotty Shetty. I appreciate you. Alexander F. says she loves movies. Don't this remind you of Denzel and Training Day? Reminds you of the shoe program. Then just put cases on all of y'all. Won't renew business licenses. So you going to stop the tax dollars from rolling into your own city? You going to destroy yourself? Charles Palmer says, Anton, I got you back with the fireball. Thank you to Charles Palmer. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. I appreciate y'all. Let's continue on. We got a whole show. We got a whole show to get through. Not a half a show, but we got a whole show. Over in Oakland, shout out to Shang Tsung. They said, Anton, did you ever go over to Dolton like you said you was a few? I got to make sure that my security type. I'm not about to just go over to Dolton so that they can be rolling up and planting drugs on me. You can forget it. Listen, I was born in 1982. I wasn't born yesterday. I was born in 1982. I got to be 41 years old because I was ducking and dodging and I was making adjustments. You don't get raised up in Detroit on the west side and you get to be 41 years old without ever going to jail and get rich at the same time by being a fool. I got to make sure that my security tight. One of my security guys, he said, Anton, I was taking a vacation this week. I said, go ahead and do your thing, sir. We not in a rush. She ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. If you think that I'm about to just be rolling up in Dolton with no cameras and no security talking about, yo, I'm here. What do I look like, a fool? You think I was born yesterday? I wasn't born yesterday. I was not born yesterday. You think that they don't have me in their phone watching this right now? No. When I come through, I'm coming through like the National Guard. You ain't about to place no fentanyl on me. No, you ain't putting fentanyl on me. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I'm not renting no cars in Dolton. When I come through, it's gonna look like the president came through. When I come through, it's gonna look like the president came through. And ain't nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. My police force is bigger than your police force when I come through in Dolton. I can guarantee you that much. Yep. I didn't get to be 41 years old by being no fool. I'm going to see you on the other side. I promise you I'm coming, though. I promise you I'm coming. We'll get there. We know that Tiff is going to continue to do what Tiff do. So I have no reservation about the idea that we're going to get back to Tiff very, very soon. We're going to get there. Let me continue. So in Oakland, huge protest broke out over in Oakland, I heard that Mayor Shang Tsung, or Shang Tao, they call her Shang Tao. I give her a nickname, Shang Tsung. I heard Mayor Shang Tsung was trying to introduce a new $3.5 million grant for community safety. And the people over there in Oakland, they wasn't having it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Major announcement for Oakland Mayor Shang Tao on her first day back at work following the passing of her mother. Instead, it was overshadowed by protests involving those who want her out of office. KTVU reporter Henry Lee joins us with details. Henry?
Andre, this was a key mayoral announcement mixed in with some political theater against the specter of a recall effort. In other words, just another day in Oakland politics. Now, tempers flared in downtown Oakland this morning as supporters of a recall effort against Mayor Shang Tao interrupted her press conference announcing a $3.5 million safety grant. The money will expand the Safety Ambassador program in downtown and Chinatown, which deploys mediators trained in de-escalation to help those in crisis.
Wait. I just want to hear that one more time before I give my commentary. Give me a second.
The money will expand the Safety Ambassador program in downtown and Chinatown, which deploys mediators trained in de-escalation to help those in crisis.
You telling me, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, you bear with me. They have a $3.5 million grant that they wanted to do a press conference for. This grant allows for them to deploy so it's not more police officers. It's not changing the law to allow officers to do their job more effectively. The grant is to deploy mediators. I just want to make sure that we all on the same page here, guys. The grant, because initially I was saying, oh man, I don't even know why they protesting. Why they acting like that out here in these streets? The grant is to deploy mediators to basically negotiate between the criminals on whether or not they should be doing criminal activity and de-escalate the situation. You got to be kidding me. I just want to hear it one more time. I want to make sure that we all on the same page and that we not confused.
Grant. The money will expand the Safety Ambassador program in downtown and Chinatown, which deploys mediators trained in de-escalation to help those in crisis.
This is real life, man. Maine, I'm with you. Maine told 83. I'm with you. This is real life. They're going to deploy mediators. It's crime running rampant. People are destroying the entire city of Oakland. Even Keith Lee said Keith Lee is from Detroit. He from Michigan. And he was like, we got to get out of Oakland. Deploying mediators?
This program will promote safer and more secure streets while improving outcomes for people in crisis. Oakland is aggressively pursuing a comprehensive and community safety strategy.
To crash the mayor's event in.
Did this dude just get it? Yo, 2024 isn't a real, it's not a real year, y'all. This is going to be like a leap year. We going to skip 2024. We just going to go straight into 2025. You can't get in front of a dude. Jesus Christ. What kind of fentanyl they got over there in Oakland, fam? Oakland, Chicago, New York. What's going on? St. Louis. What we got going on?
Included activist Seneca Scott. He and others have been holding news conferences of their own around the city, saying the mayor is not doing enough to.
You can't follow a dude with your hands in the air and then. Oh, what is going on over in Oakland?
On crime or stop businesses from leaving. Now, at one point, Edward Escobar, who also supports Sheng Tao being recalled, called Oakland police, saying bodyguards for the mayor were attacking Scott. Officers arrived and kept the peace, but made no arrests. Today was the mayor's first day back at work after her mother died. Today, she did thank everyone for being there, including the protesters holding recall signs. She said, "This is our democracy." Coming up at 5, more on this grant that she announced today. Live in the newsroom, Henry Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Let me get it from another angle. Hold on.
Get this. Chaos on the streets of Oakland Wednesday morning. Please stop provoking. Please stop provoking. While Mayor Sheng Tao and other city leaders announced a new grant aimed at increasing public safety, recall Sheng Tao protesters clashed with some of the mayor's supporters.
It was harrowing. It was terrifying. No one should go through it. And this better not happen again.
The tension getting.
Yo, hold on, wait. We got Room 9 people protesting now? If you don't know what Room 9 is, then don't worry about it. You missed the stream last night on the Anton Daniels channel. I'm just trying to get the full context, because the context clues is not in just what gets reported. The context clues is what's captured on camera. Hold on.
Clashed with some of the mayor's supporters.
It was harrowing. It was terrifying. No one should go through it. And this better not happen again.
Protesters clashed with some of the mayor's supporters.
It was harrowing. It was terrifying.
Listen. This morning I woke up and they said, Anton, the live stream from yesterday had to be changed to 18 and up. They said the live stream from yesterday. Do y'all know that you got to be signed in to watch the live stream from yesterday, and you got to be 18 and up in order to see it? I kid you not. And I couldn't figure out why. And I talked to my rep. I said, why is it 18 and up? Mr. Anton, don't do it. AD, don't do it, sister. What am I supposed to do? They interviewed him. I'm looking at it, and he said, it's terrifying. I better not forget. It's terrifying. It was crazy. It was terrifying. And it better not happen again. And I don't know what's going on. Have y'all seen the Room 9 live stream from yesterday? I don't know. I'm just looking at it. And why did the news interview him?
City leaders announced a new grant aimed at increasing public safety. Recall Sheng Tao protesters clashed with some of the mayor's supporters.
It was harrowing. It was terrifying. No one should go through it. And this better not happen again.
We're going to just continue. We just going to continue. This is a crazy show, Reptilian. I'm going to read Super Chat shortly.
Tension getting so bad at one point that Seneca Scott, a pro-recall protester,
No
says
30
he was
million for
physically
me.
assaulted.
I was pushed several times before I was punched. That wasn't the first time I was touched. I was aggressively shoved from behind.
The news conference eventually moving farther down the road.
Is Oakland a real place? Is Oakland a real place? I'm not, I don't know what's going on. I'm just observing. Nobody is telling me what's happening. All they doing is putting these people on the idiot on the news, and they giving us the news. And I'm trying to understand what's going on. I don't know. So, okay, so let's assume for the sake of conversation, okay? Let's say that he's deaf, okay? DEAF, deaf. For all of my Rule 9ers, let's say that he's deaf. Okay, so if he's deaf, then why is the other dude walking up to him doing like this and talking on his face like he can hear him? Why is the other? That's what I'm trying to understand. It's not that he communicating the way that he's communicating and we're using our context clues to understand what's going on. What I'm trying to understand is how you gonna go against the dude that's deaf and can't even hear you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go back and you look at the beginning of the stream, look, watch this.
Get this.
Look.
Chaos on the streets of Oakland Wednesday morning.
Please stop provoking.
While Mayor
How are they going to communicate with him effectively if he can't even hear what they talking about? How you see what I'm saying? Hearing aids and reading lips. I'm out of the loop. I know I ain't gonna get my 30 million, so I'm gonna just give myself a round of applause. Okay, so you're saying he's half deaf because none of y'all know him in real life, so y'all don't know. Okay, so let's assume he half deaf. So that means that he can't fully communicate. Ocular implant, partially deaf. I got so many jokes. in my head right now. So I got to laugh at them to myself because I don't know what to say and what not to say. All right, let's just get to it. Let's finish this because we got to get to the next thing. Hopefully the next story is better than this story. We don't get Eric Adams trying to read.
says he was physically assaulted.
I was pushed several times before I was punched. That wasn't the first time I was touched. I was aggressively shoved from behind.
The news conference eventually moving farther down the road while the pandemonium continued nearby. The mayor taking a moment to respond to the craziness.
And I just want to say I love every single one of you. You all with signs, you all here standing behind us. This is our democracy.
The new grant is a $3.5 million
I ain't even told no jokes yet. Y'all up here holding me accountable and I ain't even told no jokes. I have not said any jokes so far. All I did was ask questions to better understand who's communicating and how they interacting with each other. See Aaron Miller? See what I'm saying?
With Oakland-based organization Family Bridges, which runs a safety ambassador program in Chinatown. The new money will be used to expand the program into other areas.
It's important because things are a little bit out of control right now. There's a shortage of policing. There's a shortage of quality relationships between merchants, between citizens, between people walking on the street.
While many other protests...
I was just about to do some sign language for y'all. But I'm training. Listen, I've been in sign language class recently, and I've been I've been in sign language class and I've been learning because I want to make sure that I can communicate just as effectively as everybody else. And I want this show to be inclusive. I want diversity, equity, and inclusion to be for everybody. And so, do y'all want to see? I'm gonna let the chat decide. Maybe I should put a poll up. Do y'all want to see? I got ASL classes. Do y'all want to see? Oh, they don't call it that no more. I took ASL classes. That's what my guy that was teaching me. Okay, well, my guy may not know what he's doing. Y'all want me to show you what my guy was teaching me about it? Because my guy may be robbing me. He may be finessing me out of my money, talking about he teaching me sign language, but he ain't really teaching me nothing. All right, y'all don't want to hear it. We'll forget it then.
Protesters say they were out here for several reasons. One of the main ones, they tell us, is that the city of Oakland lost other grant money last year. That happened back in September when the East Bay City lost.
Craig, get your overly sensitive butt on up out of here. I understand sign language very well, and it's not going to go over well. Oh, my God. Y'all are so sensitive. Listen, if you zesty and you sensitive, this is not the show for you because everybody get these jokes. White people get the jokes. Black people getting these jokes. Gay people, heterosexual people. Everybody can get a joke. Jesus. Oh my God, Anton, you can't say that. Why can't I? What you think? You think you above the jokes because you extra sensitive? Oh my God, Anton, I know this stuff. I know it, and you can't do it. Bruh, shut the heck up. Like, keep on being so sensitive. Listen, if this ain't for you, then go and watch Good Morning America. But everybody can get these jokes. Everybody get these jokes. We not going to discriminate when it comes to the jokes. All right? Don't be messing up what I got going on. If I want to throw some gang signs up, I'm going to throw some gang signs up. I know ASL. And get your ass out of here then. Oh my God. I can't believe that you want to talk about it. So sensitive. I'm being sensitive. That's not manly to not be manly. Jesus. Let me read some of my super chats. Good God. Can't believe you're getting your sign language wrong. Lighten up. It's Thursday. Y'all niggas ain't get paid today. It's your first time here, huh? It's your first time here? Don't worry about it. We got you. We gonna give you a pass today. Akuma, what you mean the devil doing a Birdman hand rub on me? Oh my God. JR33 says, if you from Chicago, you already know nobody was trying to move to Dolton. It's been a terrible suburb for years. Do y'all consider a suburb that is for the streets a suburb? Because a suburb is traditionally supposed to be something that's like better than a city, right? Christ is a black man. What a heck of a name. Christ is a black man says feds did the same thing that Michael Vick in 2007. Feds were asking questions through Roger Goodell. That February, Vick dismissed him. Then later in June, they raided the compound. It's coming. It's coming. Let's see. Cuddy says, AD, I want to open up a life insurance policy. I have two companies in mind. One is New York Life Insurance. The other one is Fidelity. I already have a broker account with Fidelity listing. To your advice, help. Why are you trying to open up a life insurance two life insurance policies? Life insurance is supposed to be for your people that come after you, your wife or your kids or whatever like that. If anything's to happen to you, to make sure that they were straight. It's not for you to just leverage. I don't believe in that, bro. I don't believe in a life insurance as an investment. I don't believe in life insurance as an investment. I'm going to be very, very clear. I don't There's been people pitching me with it. If you want to open up a business, then that's different to sell life insurance. But I don't believe in life insurance as an investment while you're alive. It's for your people if anything was to happen to you. Jason Statham says, did you see San Fran swore a Chinese non-citizen into the elections committee? Things are getting real, bro. Votes are for sale and being shipped in. I haven't. Y'all got to send it to me. Y'all got to send it to me. I'm not familiar. BGC Veden says, damn, with the 3.5, you'll do a better job than Bukel? I don't know who that is. But thank you. I appreciate you. Today's show is wild, like every single day. Iceberg Slim says them boys in California are zestfully clean. DJ Kane in the building says it's muted. Turn up the volume. DJ Time. No, it ain't muted. We right here in the building. DJ Kane says y'all are wild in the chat. My chat is out of control anyway. They crazy. I can't wait to come and kick it with y'all in real life. Tour is coming. Sleepy Domain says it's that Asian persuasion. We love our Asian women, especially the Japanese women. Japanese women are wild. I can tell you that. All right, let's continue, y'all. We got to continue with the show. We got a migrant crisis on our hands. So Eric Adams is deciding that he no longer wants to support the migrant crisis by allegedly slashing funding. Make sure you get the likes up. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's roll, y'all.
Mayor Eric Adams is dropping his next round of budget cuts for city agencies.
But cuts to migrant funding are still set to happen. Let's get right to Lizette Nunez. She joins us from Midtown with the latest. Good morning, Lizette.
Good morning, Dana Tishani. Well, yeah, this was pretty surprising. New Yorkers were bracing for that third round of budget cuts, but that will no longer be happening. Instead, the city will be slashing migrant funding further.
You're not going to see some of those draconian steps that we were going to have to take that's getting in the way of the cleanliness and the safety of our city.
Mayor Adams doing an about-face. He says New York City will not go through a third round of citywide budget cuts. Adams detailing the impact of his decision in an interview with WABC.
If we had to do the third rounds, it would impact garbage pickup. It would impact services to our older adults. It would impact libraries. It would impact a series of services that you would actually see the difference.
For months, the mayor had been sounding the alarm that due to the financial strain of the migrant crisis, the city would see cuts to essential services. The Adams administration says better than expected tax revenue, as well as efforts to reduce migrant spending, have helped put the city in a better path financially. Moody's, an independent credit rating agency, recognized the city's handling of the budget.
When we inherited this, we were in an emergency state. Emergency conditions cost more money. We're now transitioning into a stabilized state because this is going to be here for a while.
Instead of...
Let me tell you something. All right, I want to give y'all some context so y'all better understand what he's saying. First of all, he's lying because he's saying when we inherited this. You did not inherit it. This is something that you embraced. This is something that you celebrated. You did a video, and the internet is forever. You did a video where you were saying, hey, we are a sanctuary city. We love our migrants. We're going to continue to embrace them. The first busload of them that came to your city that was shipped up from Mayor Greg Abbott, you was sitting there greeting them. You was championing. You was doing the Hercules, 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 Hercules. This is something that you embrace. You didn't inherit it. This is something that you embraced, you instituted, and you pressed this upon your people over in New York City. Now, everything is out of control. You've done so many different rounds of cuts. You cut to the police fund. You cut to the sanitary services. You cut to the education fund. But then they're trying to spend this. And they're trying to spend it, and they're trying to say to you, well, listen, we're going to cut migrant spending so that we don't have to do another round of cuts. So it's not that they're not cutting what they already said that they was going to cut within the budget that they passed already, is that they're not doing additional cuts, but they want to spin it like, oh, well, we doing well. Now, why is Moody's, why is the credit rating agency so important in this conversation? Well, it affects this city's ability to be able to pay back the money that they're borrowing. So the cities, a lot of them have a credit rating, just like you, just like me, just like businesses. They have a credit rating. It's AAA, AA, C, whatever, right? And it's based off of the city's ability to be able to pay back money. Sometimes cities borrow money for a lot of different things, and then they pay back the money based off of the tax revenue that they got coming in. And sometimes they have to pay millages, or they have to pass millages where the people have to vote and agree that, yo, we're going to borrow this money, or we're going to take this money and then we're going to raise it, and then you're going to have to pay just a little bit more in your taxes so that we can then fund schools or community colleges, or we want to do this improvement, or we got to do infrastructure updates, right? So they have to get a credit rating, or every city that is borrowing money has credit ratings based off of their ability to be able to pay back that money. They operate in a Ponzi scheme the same way that y'all do when y'all go and over borrow money for cars that you can't afford, right? And so that's the way that they're operating out here today. It's the same way. And so they're looking to make sure that they got a good credit score so that they don't have to pay as much as interest, and it costs them less money to borrow for the things that they want to pay for today.
Slashing city services, the administration says it will be cutting an additional 10% on migrant spending on top of the previous 20%.
We are far from out of the woods, but we're showing that we can manage this crisis if we watch how we spend and we manage the spending that we're seeing in the city.
And I got an idea for you. You never had to have the crisis in the first place. And now, see, this is what's happening. They're now making the migrant crisis a part of the normal budget within these cities. And the worst part about that is that you can't really put the genie back into the bottle. So when you think about social services, for example, right? When you think about social services is never going away. Section 8 housing, food stamps, EBT, whatever, right? Anything that they're giving out free money to people that feel like they deserve it just because they're here in the United States of America. It never goes away. Well, Anton, what are you basically communicating to us? Now that they've normalized it, because Eric Adams basically told you, he said, listen, this is something that's going to be in our budget for the foreseeable future. So they took money away from the people that's actually paying into the coffers, and they saying that we had better than expected revenues, meaning that you guys gave more tax dollars over to New York City, state taxes, taxes on gas, 6% sales tax, all of that, right? So because you guys put more money into the coffers, they don't have to then suffer as bad as far as the budgetary decisions or the decisions that they had in order to fund this migrant crisis in the first place. So now they're basically trying to act like they manage the budget more effectively when they've just instituted something that's going to be in the budget for the foreseeable future, instead of saying, yo, we don't want that at all. We should not continue to be raising money. We should not be allocating monies from the people over to the migrant crisis in the first place. He's telling you, listen, we're going to do this forever. This is always going to be a part of the budget because you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Very rarely do you see a government entity defund something that they already have instituted as a part of their budget. They don't lower social services. They don't lower the amount of employees that they have until you start to have a recession and it's forced upon them. And the people of New York should be absolutely disgusted at this.
That major news from the New York City mayor's
because
office.
they never lower your taxes. They only raise your taxes. Have you ever seen your property taxes go down? Even when we had a pandemic, even when we had a recession in 2008, they fought against lowering your property taxes, even though the value of your properties went down. You never got a tax break. You got to fight for that. And they can't wait to raise the value of the property up again, and then they're going to sell you on it. They're going to say, hey, listen, your property is worth more. Your net worth is going up. It's appreciating. The reason that you're paying more property taxes is because you're making more money. And it's coming out of your paycheck, but you never see the real realized gains. And they doing that because now they have more money in their coffers. It's not because you're doing so awesome. It's because they want to continue to raise the property value so they can charge you more in taxes. Or when you sell the property, the person that bought the property has to pay more taxes. So the valuation going up means more money in their coffers. They never, ever manage the budget more effectively. They don't operate like a regular entity. They operate like a government agency, horribly.
Off as an exclusive interview, Mayor Eric Adams reveals he's cutting city spending on the migrant crisis by an additional 10% on top of the 20% in cuts he had already announced.
Yeah, and he says all of those citywide budget cuts have now been canceled. Our NJ Burkett sat down with the mayor this morning for that exclusive interview. He joins us now from City Hall. NJ.
That's right.
Migrants will mean more money for city services. Yes, Mayor Adams says he is slashing funding for asylum seekers and counting on better than expected tax revenue. City agencies got the call about an hour ago that another round of drastic cutbacks to city services will not happen.
You're not going to see some of those draconian steps that we were going to have to take that's getting in the way of the cleanliness and the safety of our city.
So you say it's good news?
It's great news.
Mayor Adams says New Yorkers should feel relieved. After 2 rounds of punishing budget cuts to all but the most essential city services, the budget is stabilizing, and a planned 3rd round will no longer be necessary. What does it mean for New Yorkers? How should people look at this, Mayor?
Well, if we had to do the 3rd rounds, it would impact garbage pickup. It would impact services to our older adults. It would impact libraries. It would impact a series of services that you would actually see the difference.
In an exclusive Eyewitness News interview, Mayor Adams announced that funding for asylum seekers will be cut back by 10% on top of a previous 20% cut, for nearly 1/3 cut back on city spending for migrants.
When we inherited this, we were in an emergency state. Emergency conditions cost more money. We're now transitioning into a stabilized state because this is going to be here for a while. So by doing that, we can renegotiate contracts. We can look at long-term planning. We're not using this as an emergency. Although we're in a crisis status, we're treating it differently because the emergency still exists, but we are managing it differently.
Adams says the city's economic recovery will bring in better than expected tax revenue. The announcement comes one day after the administration was praised by the independent credit rating agency Moody's for its handling of the city's budget crisis.
We are far from out of the woods, but we're showing that we can manage this crisis if we watch how we spend and we manage the spending that we're seeing in the city.
I don't like Eric Adams. I genuinely don't. I don't like people running a city that's not strong readers anyway. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not a fan of people running a city if you're not a strong reader. If you're not a strong reader, you can't be a strong leader. If you wasn't able to stand up in front of the class and read without feeling apprehensive about the situation, then I don't think that you should be a leader at all. You're going to have to be a good reader. Because if you can't read the budget, if you can't understand what's going on, if you're making bad decisions, if you keep tripping up over your words, I can't sit there and listen to you and then believe that you should be the person that's in charge of the city. I just can't. But y'all chose him. Y'all roll with him. That's y'all thing. Let me read a couple of the super chats and then we're going to continue over with the show. Tia Marie says, we need to cleanse this live stream with the waters of Lake Minnetonka. I got a feeling this is going to be another 18 and up live stream. Kung Fu Hustler says the Biden crime family sold America to China. We don't know that, and we like Biden. I'm having trouble winking. Grayway is in the building. Shout out to the Grayway. The Grayway says, most of the time I watch a show on my TV and cannot chat, so I had to grab my phone and say that lisp, though. Lisp, though. Shout out to the Grayway in the building. Sharon Hammond says, Anton, for some clarity, I think people are sensitive because it is perceived as you're making fun of someone's disability. We all got disabilities. Have you seen, I'll give you an example. Kenny Smith is an NBA player, but have you seen his knees? Kenny Smith is an NBA player, but have you seen his knees? Am I supposed to ignore Kenny Smith's knees? And how do we know that these people even got a disability in the first place? Maybe they're just not communicating effectively. We don't know, is all I'm saying. And everybody can get these jokes. Listen, if you want diversity, equity, and inclusion, then you also got to be included in the jokes. It's just a fact, though. Am I supposed to ignore Kenny Smith's knees? No, then I'm not going to ignore your ability, your inability, or your lisp. Sister! says, wait, Mr. AD, are we pretending that round 1 and round 2 cuts didn't happen? Exactly. It still happened. It still happened, sister. Jude says, you're absolutely right, Anton. I'm disgusted. That's not DEA? Okay, done. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right, Anton, and I am disgusted, but I'm more disgusted by the Democrats in New York who keep voting these people in. They deserve them, and that's why they got the highest taxes in the country, them in California. Sister says, Mr. AD, if Mayor Adams can't read, he sure can't. Facts. That's a fact, though. All right, y'all ready to continue to roll on with the show? We got a full show to take care of. So first, we're going to go over to a couple different articles because I think that this is sad. This is the sad part of the show. Well, why is it the sad part of the show, Anton? Well, I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you why. Most of the people that's doing a crime in the United States of America, they're underage.
New tonight, 2 teens, one just 14 years old, charged with murdering a Senn High School student.
16-year-old Davion Gibson was killed. 2 other teenagers were injured. CBS 2's Sharday Gray was at the Layton Criminal Courthouse when one suspect appeared in court.
A judge denied bond for 17-year-old Keyshawn Purdue. He and a 14-year-old boy face charges of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder. Purdue will be charged as an adult. Both teens are facing felony charges for the shooting that killed 16-year-old Davion Gibson. Police say a fight is the motive behind the shooting.
There was a altercation between them, yes.
Police say Gibson was walking down Thorndale Street with a 16-year-old boy and a 15-year-old boy when someone got out of the car and started shooting. Prosecutors say the 14-year-old suspect is the shooter. Officers found 15 shell casings from the shooting. Purdue admits to driving a stolen Honda.
The defendant made post-Miranda statements admitting to driving the stolen Honda before and after the shooting and identified the juvenile co-defendant as the shooter and his only passenger.
They believe Purdue drove the stolen Honda while the 14-year-old sat in the back. The 3 students from Senn High School were walking when Purdue is accused of using the car to cut them off near an alley. The 14-year-old got out of the car, walked towards the victim, and fired into the crowd. Prosecutors say witnesses saw everything unfold.
An Amazon driver in the area observed the Honda pull into the alley, heard gunshots, and observed a young black male holding a firearm shoot into a crowd of people, returned to the Honda in the alley, and the Honda fled the scene.
The judge says he believes Purdue is a threat to the community, and he doesn't believe electronic monitoring is sufficient based on his criminal background that includes 8 arrests since 2021. Reporting at Layton Criminal Courthouse, Sharday Gray, CBS 2 News.
Let's put this in perspective. 8 arrests. 8. Now this is Chicago. 8 arrests. 8 arrests. Let me get y'all to 8 arrests. 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 arrests. I ain't got 1 arrest, and he got 8 of them. 16-year-olds jump in a car. Not a car that's theirs, a Stoli. Got into the Stoli. Got into an argument. Got pissed off because they had some kind of physical confrontation. Pulled up. Daytime. No remorse. No nothing. Got out the car with the pistol. Bunch of people around, including Amazon drivers and a crowd of people. Fired off. Plugging somebody with the pistol. Got back in the car like nothing ever happened and drove off. These are your children. This is what your children are dealing with. These are your children. This is what your children are dealing with. They have no remorse. They have no regard for human life. They don't value other people's stuff. They don't value human life. And they're not even scared. They have no fear. They're not worried. They're not deathly afraid. They're not afraid of getting caught. They're not afraid of what people going to think about them. They are literally walking outside, taking matters into their own hands. They walking around with guns and pistols, stolen cars, and taking people and peeling people's muffin top back. Muffin top cap back. In broad daylight, in the middle of the street in front of a crowd in the Amazon drivers. Where's the mamas? Where's the daddies? Where's the community leaders? Where's the people that got this person back, that's raising them? Don't you know that also the children got it, the teachers got to deal with this? See, listen, it's not just about the kids themselves. It's about everybody that is affected by the children's behavior that you decide to have and raise. Because you're going to blame it on the system, you're going to blame it on everybody, but you're not going to blame it on yourself. And you know what the unfortunate part about this also is? It's the teachers. The teachers have to subject themselves to it. The teachers are the ones that got to deal with it on a regular basis, and we acting like they don't. We acting like it's cool. We acting like it's not a big deal. No big deal. Let them do what they want to do when they want to do it. Let them fire off. Let them have it. Let them kick it like Shang Tsung, like Liu Kang. It's happening all over the country. Check this out.
Shocking levels of chaos and violence at a high school. In Massachusetts, students at one high school are so out of control, educators aren't just calling the police, they're calling in the National Guard.
We're looking for support with the National Guard to come in and act as substitute teachers, hall monitors to make sure that the high school is safe.
We're just looking.
The teachers are not even looking for the police no more. They said the police can't even help us. We need the National Guard to basically be the hall monitors, to be the substitute teachers, and to protect us as teachers. The teachers and the principals are going to the news and they're calling and asking for the National Guard to protect them against the students that are in the schools. We are in 2024, and they have to have the National Guard come in and guard you to teach math, social studies, econ, geography, calculus. We ain't even got to worry about calculus. Don't worry about calculus. Calculus ain't a thing. Algebra, nah, we ain't got to worry about algebra 1. Reading 1, no, you ain't even got to worry about it. College, you can forget about it. They call in the National Guard just for them to even be able to do their job.
For a little bit of support within Brockton Public Schools.
But we're not asking them to deploy a whole army to our school. We're asking for support, especially with the teacher shortage throughout Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
We need more staff to support our staff and help the students, learn, have a safe environment.
Teachers say students are having sex, doing drugs, and have even started violent brawls that have resulted in students being stabbed.
Let me play it again for y'all. I just want to make sure that y'all caught it, because I don't want y'all to act like Anton is saying the culture is trash and then I'm making this up.
Teachers say students are having sex, doing drugs, and have even started violent brawls that have resulted in students being stabbed.
Oh no! Listen, you got to put them on timeout. People should be able to have as many kids as they want to have. That is a constitutional right. We need more students and more black kids, because the parenthood of the people, man, they are limiting the population. We need to defund the police, because I don't like it, and it's discrimination inside of our neighborhoods. The system is not for us. This is all systematic. This is handed down by the federal government and the white man. I almost didn't even have a child because I didn't want to bring them into this world. And the possibility of them being subjected to this type of environment was just unthinkable. It was unthinkable. Unthinkable. Anton, why didn't you move back into the city prior to, but you just kept your offices or you did business in the city? Because I had to do what was in best interest of my kid. I had to do what was in the best interest of my child. It was the best investment and the best sacrifice that I ever could make. But now we have the autonomy and the ability to be able to do what we want to do when we want to do it because, we were successful at what we did. We was willing to make the sacrifice. It was unthinkable. Unthinkable. When you talk to a lot of these teachers today, I coach some, I talk to some, I'm very active in the different communities and stuff. They said, Anton, we getting up out of here, man. We trying to figure out how we can retire. We trying to make the move. Teachers don't want to be in there no more. Teachers that's been down for the cause for the last 15, 20, 30, 40 years. The lunch ladies, the counselors, the teachers, the principals, they're not aspiring to get no promotions no more. They trying to get up out of there. They don't even want to deal with y'all no more. It's bad.
Here now, committee member from that high school, Tony Rodriguez. Tony, good to see you and thank you for being with us. Just talk to us how bad the school has gotten. What's happening where you're now asking for the National Guard to come in and keep the peace?
It's chaotic when we have students that basically are in the school thinking that it's a playground. Lack of discipline. It starts at home. The deficit kind of put a big hamper on us.
Listen to what he said. It starts at home. It starts at home. If you say something to the kid and say, hey, put your phone away, or you're not supposed to be doing this, or hey, pay attention in class, you just as likely to get your butt kicked by the mama that's going to come up to the school and cuss you out and say, what makes you think that you can say something to my kid? You're just as likely to get cussed out by the mama right after catching her daughter or her son out here busting it open and running up and down the school with a knife and a gun on.
And making sure that we have a safe learning environment with the teacher shortage that we have because of the massive layoffs that we dealt with last fiscal year.
Is everybody on board with this, Tony, to get the National Guard in? Is there pushback from other committee members? What's been, the response from Governor Healy on this?
We drafted a letter. There was 4 of us that drafted a letter. We requested a meeting of safety last month where we brought the educators in to basically shine the light on what's really going on at the high school. So we gave them that platform. And, they spoke from the heart, and what they're dealing with is discouraging. It's sad that we have educators that can't go inside the building and give these kids the proper education, and students are losing, education time. Students not showing up to school, the staff. We have 20 to 25 teachers that are calling out on a daily basis, and that leaves, roughly about 800 students that are unsupervised in the building, and we can't continue to just let it go this way. So that's why we reached out to the governor to make sure she can activate the National Guard, because at this time we just can't continue having meetings on top of meetings. We need corrective action now, and it has to happen sooner than later.
Tony,
the teachers and the principals and stuff is telling you, they say, listen, it's over. It's over. The community is over. Whatever it was that y'all was staying on code for, it's up. Jig is up, man. That's it. It's over. I don't know what y'all was staying on code for. I don't know what y'all thought was going to happen. Y'all knew that the way that y'all grew up was trash, and now y'all starting to give it to y'all same kids and stuff like that. It's over. It's done. Whatever y'all thought that y'all was staying on code for is done. It's not a thing. Most places in America has now become a third world country.
I'm a parent. You send your kids to school, and it's supposed to be a safe place. But it appears that in this school, whether it's the brawls, the stabbings, the sex, the drugs, all things most parents try to keep their kids away from, they're actually getting at the school system. So those who don't want the National Guard to come and keep the peace, do they have another plan on how you remedy the school and make it a place that's safe for kids to go to?
We have to have the bodies inside of the school.
Yeah.
Right now what you do is, when you have a lot of educators not in the building or staff, these kids are free to, roam. And what do you think these teenagers are going to do? It's a free for all. The plan is to request the National Guard. At this time, it's very critical. We can't, just wait to figure out a plan. We've been discussing this. It's March is next week. School year is going to end shortly, and we just can't keep having meetings over meetings. Like I stated, right now, the quickest and safest way is to get the National Guard. There's a census of, the military coming into school. We're not trying to militarize our school. It's to make sure that it's safe. We've used the military across the country to, for COVID relief with vaccines and being substitute teachers, hall monitors. That's what we're requesting right now, is to make sure that we have enough bodies in the building, to make sure that we don't have students that are walking outside, kids that are not authorized to be in the building. We have students ordering DoorDash. It's unacceptable.
That's crazy.
And the reason that it's happening is because it's a lack of staffing that's not at the level that it should be, which is making the district very, very, very dangerous.
Kids is door dashing to the school, and the door dashers are showing up. Y'all need geofencing. Y'all need the National Guard. Y'all need everything up in there, bro.
Tony Rodriguez, thank you so much.
That's insane. It's just absolutely insane, and it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful that y'all even on code for this nonsense. That's what I'm trying to understand. Like, what do y'all think is so cool about being on code for the stuff that's the worst for us? It's nothing good that comes from this. Zero, zilch, nada. Nothing good can possibly ever come from it. I hate this. I almost believe, if we just gonna be absolutely honest, I almost believe we last of a dying breed. We the last of the Mohicans. If you didn't make it, if you didn't experience life the way that we experienced it, it's gone forever. It's gone forever. Somebody says, who's on code for this craziness? All of the parents whose kids is operating like that. All of the parents whose kids is operating like is the ones that's on code for it. Honestly, if you didn't experience it the way that we experienced it, as far as the life that we live and how we got to experience having the good and the bad in the community, and people knew who you are and we knew who each other's kids were. The lady across the street, the 4 houses across the street and all around us, all knew us. We all hoop with each other. The grandmothers up there would call our mothers on us if they seen us getting into any trouble or something was happening. If the kids from around the block was coming over to fight and we was about to get into a scrap, my parents knew before anything ever popped off, because we were a community. We knew who our neighbors were. I know what time that this dude leaves for work because this is what his routine is, and he speaks to me every day. We used to know who the mailman was. We had the same mail carrier. He would come up and put up a couple shots in the backyard, and he was cool. That was our guy. And when the new mail carrier came, we was like, hey, what happened to Joe? He's like, oh, Joe was out for a couple weeks because he had to have a surgery. We knew what happened to Joe because Joe told us he was about to be out for a couple weeks in order to have surgery. I knew Mr. Thomas and them right across the street. I helped my direct neighbor across the street put up his Christmas lights on his thing. And I was trying to figure out why he ain't had no sleeves on his jacket. And so we was all laughing about it. My little brother, he was really cool. And the funeral for the father, for the grandmother that wound up dying across the street directly to our right, they wound up leaving him something in his will. They then wound up buying a house directly across the street from him, and their daughters wound up living there, which was, the same age as my mother and stuff like that. I still go by and check on them every once in a while and see, hey, How is she doing? And how is she doing? I actually go by and check on my older neighbors that used to live across the street from me just to see and make sure that they was okay. I used to try to talk to, I had a neighbor that was one house over, right? And Miss Campbell, shout out to Miss Campbell. Miss Campbell was like Miss Parker. Honestly, listen, this is what my childhood was. Miss Campbell was like Miss Parker from Friday. She was so fine. She was so fine. And we used to want to, I wound up talking to Latoya. Latoya was her daughter. And Latoya was 1 year older than me. So I wound up getting into a little mini relationship when we was younger with Latoya. But then I wound up getting into a relationship with Latoya's cousin. Shout out to Latoya's cousin. She was so bad. She was so cute. But then Latoya's cousin wound up being for the streets. And so, she wound up having a bunch of babies. So I had to let that go. That was around the time that I met Rita in high school. And so we kind of went over my childhood was so great. I had one of the most awesome childhoods of all time. And then I had Joe. Joe was my next door neighbor on the other side. And Joe was gay. Right. So I was always familiar with what was happening out here in these streets. But Joe wound up dying of AIDS. But he didn't wind up dying of AIDS until we got a little bit older and we wound up leaving the house and we found out Joe died of AIDS. But then the two houses down, my dog Marshall, he was a hooper. You know what I'm saying? So he always used to come into the backyard and hoop with us. And then Tori, that was across the street, he used to hoop because he had a hoop in his backyard, but my hoop was better. And so we used to go and hoop. It was just different. It was different. Like, we didn't know that we was growing up in the hood because we all still had a level of community about us and everybody knew what was going on. And you know what I'm saying? I knew what was happening over here and I can go and check on them. And, we would come over for each other's birthdays and shout out to Latoya's cousin. And she wound up becoming a chef, but she had some little kids. I couldn't mess with her when she had the kids. You know what I'm saying? Toya wound up going to Renaissance and I went to Cass Tech, and Toya, I heard that she went off and she became successful. And shout out to Miss Campbell. Miss Campbell's husband had passed away on the low. Hey. We was looking at her like we had a chance. Trying to bust down our homegirl's mama. You know what I'm saying? But it was just different. It was a whole other, now, all of y'all little kids are city girls. Y'all ain't got no crushes no more. Don't nobody even know about no crush no more. Everybody is so overstimulated. It's crazy. It's just a different time, man. It's a whole nother space. But I'm very thankful and I'm very, very appreciative of the time that I grew up in. Let me read a couple of super chats and then we're going to get over into the next thing. AL says, dude thought he was Frank Lucas. And he operated like he was Frank Lucas. Just got out the car, the stolen car, just Kung Fu Hustler says, calling the National Guard on a high school, but yet they can't close the border. The whole country is going to trash anyway. So Jason Statham says, this ain't GTA, kids. No respawns back in this server. Big Bang for Bag says, so this is Lean on Me 2024. But it ain't no more Joe Clarks. Ain't no more Joe Clarks. Zach says, the last time the military was using schools was in a civil rights time. Let that sink in how bad it is. Well, everything is cyclical. JP says, AD, I'm 28, grew up near Brockton. This is normal, just like the migrants in the 5th grade. Kids just start getting busy. Teachers have no power in Massachusetts. Wealth building. Why they been trying to hide all this? Why they ain't been trying to expose this? See, if I wasn't talking to you about this on the Millionaire Morning Show, a lot of y'all wouldn't even be familiar. Wealth Building Journey says, call in time to the front of the congregation. I said martial law is coming. Schools first, then curfews, then outright martial law is coming. I don't know if that would be such a bad thing, though. A.K. Harrison in the building says, free Mr. Clark. Free Mr. Clark. Trini Life is in the building says, not until the Antichrist come will it all stop. McGregor says, Anton, I got your back. Let me throw this fireball inside of the collection plate. Unfortunate is in the building says, Anton, I'm in your city. The food here is mid. My family like prime only. So you went to prime and proper, or you went to D prime? It's two different primes, big dog. Can you give me your best breakfast and pizza spot? Thank you. I'm a fan of Pizzapopolis. Pizzapopolis is one of my favorite pizza spots, personally. Breakfast, I would go to the Pancake House, the original Pancake House, either in Grosse Pointe, Southfield, Birmingham, go to the ones in Birmingham or Grosse Pointe. You can also get really, really good breakfast. It's some really good breakfast spots in downtown Detroit. Make sure you go to, I think it's Canato's Tacos. Taco place is absolutely awesome. Zuzu's, make sure you check out Zuzu's because Zuzu's got a really good dinner menu. Go to Canella in order to get your Danishes and get a lot of that type of stuff. Go to Astoria. They got one in Royal Oak, and then they got one in Greektown in order to get your desserts. Pancake House is definitely one of the spots that you want to hit in order to get breakfast, big dog. You can also hit, it's a couple other big good spots, but make sure that you guys hit me up inside of the email. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. I'll give you all of the different spots. That's dope. Got to hit you with Coney Island, Capital Coney Island. Be careful what time you go. Be careful what time you go. Don't go to the Coney Islands downtown, National and all of that. Forget all of that. Go to Capital Coney Island on 8 Mile in Wyoming. Capital Coney Island, or if it's the daytime, go to Sherwood Noni Coney Island on Livernois, right by the Design District. It's some phenomenal shops over there. You got some great restaurants, some good shopping over there in Livernois that's away from downtown. It's right around Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Forest is one of the most prominent neighborhoods inside of the city. They got some really big houses. You can go on tour John Sally's old house. It's like a big mansion that wound up being bought by the church. Palmer Woods, it's got some great parks over there. And then you can head back downtown. Actually, go to Midtown. Hopcat is dope. They got a Hopcat in Ann Arbor by the University of Michigan, and then they got one right down by my office. It's a Hopcat downtown. And then it's a bunch of new spots for you to check out down there. So make sure y'all tap into that and check it out. Yeah, off Livernois Avenue. Right, yep. In between 7 Mile and 8 Mile. It's dope. It's called the Avenue of Fashion. So, yeah, it's a lot of great restaurants. It's a lot of great spots. You just can't look into the national stuff. You got to look into and talk to the people that's local here. Zuzu's is really dope, too. Oh, also go to Townhouse. Townhouse is really dope. Pizzapopolis is one of my favorite pizza spots, too, though. Shout out to Pizzapopolis. Mr. Youngblood City, I need my money. I need my money. 8 Mile is not bad. It's not like the movies. It's not what you think it is. 8 Mile is not bad. 8 Mile is just a dividing line between when you cross over into the Metro Detroit area. So 8 Mile divides, it's different cities, right? It's Hazel Park, Southfield, Royal Oak, Ferndale, Oak Park. It's a lot of phenomena. 8 Mile is not bad at all. It just depends because 8 Mile is a long stretch. It's like 20 miles of road all the way from the east side all the way to the west side. So it just depends on where you at. If you go over to Capital Coney Island, it's not bad, right? So stop listening to what y'all see on the movies. It's not an accurate depiction of what Detroit is. It's not an accurate depiction of what 8 Mile is. 8 Mile is a two-way street with a divider, 4 lanes on each side. It's almost like a highway. You know what I'm saying? So it's not what y'all see on the movies. It's nothing like that. 8 Mile actually runs all the way into Livonia. You'll get a J. Alexander's, P.F. Chang's. It's some very high-end stores and hotels and stuff that's further down. So it's nothing like you think that it is. So it depends on where you at. Mr. Youngblood says, I have been off coast since 2014. It's sad that we're one of the only cultures that start over every generation. We don't learn lessons from our partners and grandparents. Shout out to Mr. Youngblood City. I appreciate you. Yes. Brandon Vegas says, our generation is the last to enjoy and benefit from an analog childhood. I agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Last thing that I want to talk about before we get into the Friday show, which is tomorrow. And then we got after hours tonight, because y'all know that Thursdays is mine. Last thing that I want to talk about is Leticia James. Leticia James, LeBron James. Prime 29 is dope too. I agree. Leticia James. Leticia James is going after Donald Trump with everything that they got. I have been to the Motown Museum. It's dope. And they actually expanded the Motown Museum. Leticia James is going after the Trump organization, and they've even gotten to the point where where they got the $355 million verdict. We covered that earlier in the earlier in the week in a live stream. But now she's saying that she's going after the Trump organization and she wants to basically take over the businesses and garnish and do whatever it is that she can in order to get the money that they finding for over in New York. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Leticia James.
In the NRA case rests in the hands of a jury. Attorney General Leticia James now considering her next move after Donald Trump's fraud penalty. Late this afternoon, the AG told ABC News that she will seize the former president's assets if he is unable to find the cash to cover the $355 million fine for fraud. ABC's Aaron Katersky sat down with the Attorney General. He joins us now live in Lower Manhattan with more on that conversation. Aaron.
Sandra, Attorney General James has been living with this case since September of 2022 when she first filed her lawsuit against Donald Trump. She endured multiple attempts to delay it or dismiss it, and 4 days after the judge issued a decision, she said she is confident it will hold up on appeal. The big question, of course, can Trump pay $355 million plus interest? The Attorney General told us that wasn't for her to say, but she said she would do everything in her power to hold him accountable, including, if necessary, trying to seize his assets.
If he does not have funds to pay off the judgment, then we will seek, judgment enforcement mechanisms in court, and we will ask the judge to seize his assets.
Let me give y'all some insight into money a little bit, especially money from people that have significant resources. Very few people in this world has $350 million. Dojo says $350 million is nothing to Trump. It's not true. $350 million is $350 million to everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you Jeff Bezos. I don't care if you're Elon Musk. $350 million is $350 million, okay? But the thing that people don't understand is that nobody, and I mean literally nobody, is sitting on $350 million. I'm not even sure that Apple has $350 million in cash. Let's see how much cash Apple has on hand. Because y'all really need to understand money. All right, my bad. I was wrong. I was thinking of $350 billion. $350 million Apple obviously has. But Apple, as of December, with cash on hand, that's cash on hand, Apple has $73 billion in cash and cash equivalents. That's just money that's accessible for them to do whatever it is that they need to do and whatever it is that they want to do on hand as of their latest reporting. However, individuals, and I was wrong on that, so give me a second. They got $73 billion in cash on hand. I was thinking of $350 billion, not million, all right? $350 million. Let's say, for example, you're a billionaire, all right? Let's say, for example, your net worth is $1 billion or $2 billion. You don't usually sit on that much money in cash because all that means is that's how much you have in net worth. That means that's how much you have in assets. Your business might be valued at this. Your real estate might be valued at that. Your company might be valued at this. You may have some cars. You may have a home that you live in. You may have your retirement. You may have your 401k or whatever like that. So basically, your ability to liquefy your assets in order to substantiate how much you have ultimately goes into what you have. Even Jay Reed says Steve Ballmer years ago bought the Clippers NBA team for $1 billion in cash. Did he? Actually, what he did was he leveraged his assets in order to get the money to buy the team. Because think about it. He wasn't just sitting on $1 billion just sitting in the bank. Nobody just sits on $1 billion in the bank. But what he did was he had it in equity. He had it in Microsoft stock. He had it in his other investments. So usually what they do is instead of having to sell off your equity position in something, they take out a loan against it. Well, why would they do that? They do that so that they don't have to pay the taxes on it. I have to take out almost $2 billion, sell off $2 billion in assets in order to come up with $1 billion, because then I have to pay the taxes on it. And I'm taxed at the highest tax rate, right? So now, in order for me to shell out $1 billion, I got to sell $2 billion in assets. It's similar to what Elon Musk did as far as his equity position that he had to liquefy. And that's why he had one of the biggest taxes that he had to pay when he then sold some of his position inside of Tesla. And then he wound up buying Twitter, but he didn't buy Twitter for 100% cash. He wound up buying Twitter, and then he financed some of it too, right? So my thing is, what they usually do is they leverage their assets to then get loans against it so that they don't have to pay the taxes. It's not that they don't have to pay it's not that they don't have the money. It's not that they don't have the resources. It's because they don't want to have to pay the taxes as a result of it. But they always want their money working for them. So why would you not have your money deployed? And when we look at these people, we say, are they a billionaire? That means that they have a net worth of $1 billion or more. Very few people are just sitting on $355 million in assets, but they may be able to be liquid that much depending on what their net worth is, okay? So remember, I know that he bought it in all cash, but it just means that he didn't finance it. I need y'all to focus. I know that he purchased them, meaning that he didn't have to finance it or he doesn't owe anything as a result of it. But I want you to understand how it works. My people ain't listening. All they doing is paying attention to the news articles. Oh, man, they doing it in cash. When Mark Zuckerberg bought his houses or his properties over in Hawaii, he's not necessarily saying, listen, I'm about to buy this property in cash. They take out loans for it. Why? Because they don't want to have to liquefy their positions and their equity stake in something in order to then get the property. And they don't want to have to pay for it like that. It's a tax game. It's not about the money itself. It's not that they don't have the money. It's the tax game. Rich people pay the tax game. That's why they leverage credit. They don't leverage credit as like normal everyday people leverage credit. Y'all use it to buy goods and services that you don't need. They use it to move money around and to prevent themselves having to pay more than they have to the IRS and to their state governments.
Mechanisms in court, and we will ask the judge to seize his assets. And so at the end of the day, how he pays for the judgment is really not my business.
Zach, how do you know that? The Rockefellers had that much on. How do you know that? You know them? You know them? CJ, just tell me that you don't have premium without telling me you don't have premium. How do you know that? How do y'all know this stuff? Do y'all know what these people's monies is like? Y'all going over to Celebrity Net Worth in order to get your information? Come on, man. We got to wake up. We got to wake up.
He was responsible and liable for $363 million plus $100 million in interest.
Right out the window of the Attorney General's office is 40 Wall Street. That's the building that Leticia James looks at every day. It was the subject of an overvaluation on the part of the Trump organization.
I think she is evil.
That would be the one that she goes to first to try to seize if, in fact, Trump somehow is unable to come up with the money another way. But he owes $90,000 a day in interest the longer this goes on. So it's going to add up very, very quickly. The Trump organization, Trump himself, his sons are expected to appeal in short order to try and stop that interest clock. But the Attorney General is confident that her judgment will hold up and that she ultimately will prove victorious over the former president.
$90,000 a day in interest? $90,000 a day in interest? All because you on a completely different side of the political spectrum. Now remember, y'all got to remember. And the one thing that I'm always trying to figure out from Trump is why did he even want to get into the presidential race in the first place? It never made sense to me. I don't understand why rich people or ultra rich people or people that are winning in life decide to become politicians. It's so weird to me. It's so weird to me. Because it's like, if you go back and you think about this, None of these people was even paying attention to him on that type of level until he started to get into politics and they felt some type of way about it. Now he's paying $90,000 a day in interest until he can appeal. He was winning. He was just doing just fine. Everybody was winning and all of that. You got to have a strong reason. And I don't know what his reason is, but you got to have a strong reason. Maybe he really do love America. Maybe he really do want to save the country. But you got to have a strong reason to want to put yourself on a radar to then become the person that is under the thumb of a woman like Leticia. Larry, I'll give you an example. This is what she was saying. This is the press conference that this mannequin held the minute after she got the judgment. This is what she was saying, a full video.
Donald Trump engaged in deceptive business practices and tremendous fraud. Donald Trump falsely, knowingly inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself, his family, and to cheat the system. Donald Trump may have authored the art of the deal, but he perfected the art of the steal. This long-running fraud.
But the banks love him. And the banks never complained about him. And the banks, the people that he actually did business with said that, yo, I love doing business with the man. And he ain't never, ever did anything to us. So I don't really know what you're talking about as far as the fraudness. But neither here nor there.
Was intentional, egregious, illegal. And he did all of this with the help of the other defendants, his 2 adult sons and senior executives at the Trump Organization. And so, after 11 weeks of trial, we showed the staggering extent of his fraud and exactly how Donald Trump and the other defendants deceived banks, insurance companies.
Do y'all think that this woman is going to wind up being a governor or something like that? Do y'all think that she's going to be running for a different position? Leticia James. I'm just wondering, do y'all think that this woman is ultimately going to become more of a bigger political figure as a result of riding off of the wave that Fani Willis is ultimately trying to do also?
Other financial institutions for their own personal gain. We proved just how much Donald Trump, his family, and his company unjustly benefited from his fraud. Today, the court, once again, ruled in our favor and in favor of every hard-working American who plays by the rules. Donald Trump and the other defendants were ordered to pay $463.9 million. That represents $363.9 million in disgorgement, plus $100 million in interest, which will continue to increase.
This sounds insane. This sounds absolutely insane. This is crazy. 100% crazy. I've never heard no junk like this in my entire life.
Every single day until it is paid. Donald Trump, the former chief financial officer of the Trump Organization, Alan Weisselberg, and the former controller of the Trump Organization, Jeffrey McConney, are each banned from serving as an officer or director of any New York company for 3 years. Mr. Weisselberg and Mr. McConney are also banned for life from serving in a financial management role in any New York company. Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump are banned from serving as an officer or director of any New York company for 2 years. And Donald Trump and his companies are banned from applying for loans from any New York bank or financial institution for 3 years. A new independent director of compliance will be created at the Trump Organization to ensure the company establishes internal protocols and meets financial reporting obligations. And the current independent external monitor will continue to oversee the company's financial dealings and ensure this fraud cannot continue. I want to be clear. White-collar financial fraud is not a victimless crime. When the powerful break the law and take more than their fair share, there are fewer resources available for working people, small businesses, and families. And everyday Americans cannot lie to a bank about how much money they have in order to get a mortgage to buy a home, or a loan to keep their business afloat, or to send their child to college. And if they did, our government would throw the book at them. I want to thank the entire incredible and hardworking team in my office.
All right, we got all that we need to hear. I just wanted to see who she was because I just started to become familiar with her because of this case and because of everything that's going on. So now we know what to pay attention to, and now we can keep an eye on it because I've already given you my spiel of what I think about her and what's happening in the very beginning of the week. I think I did that on Monday. But now we know what we're dealing with, and now that you know what you're dealing with, you can make adjustments. One thing is for sure, I'm never moving to New York. Never a reason to move to New York. Never a reason to move to Chicago. Never a reason to move to Seattle. Never a reason to move over to Baltimore. Never a reason to move over in a lot of these places. I'm fine just where I am. I don't need no problems from crazy women like this that has a bone to pick from victimless situations. Let me read some of the super chats and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here for the day. Let's see what we got. Michael Merriweather says, I admire Palestinians in Dearborn denying Biden. Dearborn is definitely a space where Biden is not welcome. I can tell you that. Pookie's friend Ray Ray says, Leticia probably gets buzzed down by my friend Pookie. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jamal Fowler says, you know Trump is the boogeyman. Better leave him alone. Ken J is in the building, says Trump about to get a $4 billion bag. He good? Yeah, I heard that his Truth Social is about to go public. Jason Statham says, dude killed a chick in an NYC hotel. He was found in Arizona for another crime. They denied extradition, citing Bragg and NYC are untrustworthy. AL says Chicago pizza on top, even CT and NY, and Arizona pizza is way better than Detroit. You ain't never been to Detroit. Aaron has never been to the city ever before in his life, but he just bitter because we be bringing Chicago to the front of the. He ain't even in Chicago. Jason Statham says Trump offset defying with the new sneaker drop. G. Jamal Fowler says, Anton, did you cop a pair of the Trump sneakers? No. Nah, I'm a pass. Zach says the Rockefeller have that much on hand. How would you know? And I'm not saying that they don't, but how would you know? Sister! Thanks to you, Mr. AD, and your bag chasers, I was able to follow everything you said in this Leticia James story and even didn't even need to see student perspective. Shout out to Sister in the building. We're going to break it down so that we can better understand it. DJ Kane says Bill Cosby has $20 billion in cash. Source, random meme off of Instagram. I don't know where people be getting these crazy numbers from. And you a lie. You a lie out west 290. You know that ain't true. Vin 2010 says, I'm starting to think most people are brainless. We all can just go to Celebrity Net Worth. I'm about to pull up with Celebrity Net. What is my net worth? JC says, I'm starting to think most people are brainless. Tris Kush Renata says real estate developers are pulling out of NY after this verdict. Kevin O'Leary was going in on NY over this. Yeah, I think that it's a travesty. Bag for Bag says if this man's win, he will be on a warpath. Lil Black, he got no choice but to win now. Lil Black Duck says summary judgments and non-adversarial trials is exactly how Negroes would be gummed up by the justice system. But folks don't want to hear me, though. Shaking my head. Sharon Compton says, what up, though? Hiya. I appreciate you, Sharon. Kim One says, hi, how are you able to use news and other YouTube videos without getting hit with the copyright? Because I'm special. Because I'm special. Because I go through the proper protocols in order to ensure that I can use the content that I'm using. As simple as that. I go through the protocols. As long as you abide by the rules and you go through the protocols and you get permission and do whatever you need to do. I use everything. Club Shave. I use whatever it is that I want to use. 100%. I use Joe Budden videos on after hours. I use whatever one I want to use. I do what I want to do. Because I go through the proper protocols. Kim 1. And when you're a professional, you can professionally do what you want to do. AWOL says Walmart stock split at the end of this week. We'll talk about it in Stock Club, next Stock Club. Tip Top Property says, as a young black first generation real estate entrepreneur, the NYC Trump verdict terrifies me. Should I quit while I'm ahead? Absolutely not. No. I would do business. I wouldn't be doing business in New York. I don't do business in New York. However, absolutely not. You keep getting that bag and you keep running it up. Let me look at this before we get up out of here. What is Anton's net worth? Anton Daniels net worth. Anton Daniels is a famous American YouTuber and business coach and has a estimated net worth. I gotta share this with y'all. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me see if I can share this with y'all real quick. Anton Daniels is a famous American YouTuber and business coach and has an estimated net worth of $4 million. Where did they get this from? His annual income is approximately, now we all know that this is cap, is approximately $350,000, and he earns from various sources, including business coaching, YouTube ad revenue, and brand deals. Now, anybody that's a part of the Bag Chasers, all you got to do is look at the most previous videos so I can show you what my deposits are. All of my information is on there. Look, man, I make more than $350 in my corporate job, and that's on the Patreon too. I don't know where they're getting these numbers from, and this is what I'm saying. Y'all go to celebrity net worth and stuff, and then they automatically just start throwing about a bunch of numbers up. They got my bio. Oh, I was born in 1978, and I'm 45. I thought that I was only 41. I thought that I was only 41. When was I born in 1978? Do y'all know? Y'all know? Yeah. Despite limited education or limited information regarding his parents and education, he completed his schooling in Detroit, overcoming challenges along the way. I don't know where this junk come from. This is a quote from me. Let's see what the quote says. Success is not about where you come from. It's about where you're going and the determination to make it happen. Have I ever said that? I graduated high school in 2000 with Kojak. Kojak was right there when I'm not submitting no correction. They don't know nothing about me. Oh. This is wild, bro. Oh, they got a video up there. Tenacious pursuit of his dreams. Yeah, this is pretty funny. I probably did say, I say a lot of stuff. That's you, AIAD. If y'all want to email me, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. I don't know how they know my early influences. It's all artificial intelligence. Let me see if it's another article, because they be having multiple different sites that say what they say. Oh, man. They got a LinkedIn article? What? Wow. Hold on. I got to share this with y'all before we get up out of here. Look at this. On LinkedIn. Hey, look at the picture they got of me. They got my Minions hoodie on. Who did this? Who is doing this on LinkedIn? All right, so let's see what my net worth is on LinkedIn. Introduction. Oh, I'm worth $5 million on this one. You rakes in $390,000. Oh, I'm 46 years old on this one. Okay, 46 on this one. Oh, my God. I got married in 2015. Wow. I thought I got married in 2004. I could be off, though. So I got married in 2015. He lives in a luxurious estate that is the epitome of luxury and opulence. Oh, my God. This is so dumb. This is so stupid. I didn't even, they got me questioning when I got married. I didn't know I was only married for like 9 years. I guess so. LinkedIn is a credible source. Anyways, listen, I love you. Where did they be getting this? Look, where did they be getting this information from? Now I'm interested. Now I'm vested. Let me see. I'm vested now. Wow. This is crazy. You know what the worst part about it? They all kind of piggyback off of each other. This is the craziest junk that I've ever seen in my life, bro. This is insane, bro. They done made their own thumbnails and everything. I'm vested now. I'm vested. All right. Anyways, I got things to do. We got money to make and money to go get. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. TR says, are all the federal prosecutors that will be targeting Trump going to be black women? It seemed like it. Kevin said the federal government loves putting black women in positions like collections that go after finances. He might be right. Kim One says, I was throwing shade, just trying to figure it out. It can't be confusing. It can be confusing. Tech Coach Ralph says, quote should have been F your feelings. Facts. Then it would have been more believable. Apparently, I was born in 1978, too. Black Camo says, have you seen the OMG Media Group undiscovered video on the AI access of all bank accounts of the IRS? I haven't. I have not seen it. I'm unaware. TR says, Stock Club segment on the trash industry was great. I got some interesting insight, and I want to get your perspective on ESPP. All right, bet. ESPP is the, I forgot what it's abbreviated for. Something payment program. Stock purchase program. The something stock purchase program is what it was. Yeah, there's something that make sure you invest in it. You get basically it allows for you to get your job stock at a stock price usually around 10% cheaper than whatever it is whatever it is that it's going for in a regular market. And so yes, but you got to hold on to it for I think a quarter before you can sell it. Employee stock purchase program. That's what it's called, the Employee Stock Purchase Program. So basically, you put a percentage of your income into it. Usually it's like 10%. You get it at a discount, 10 to 15%. You get it at a discount of whatever it is that you get it from. Yes, you can do it. You absolutely should do it. 100%. Put as much as you can possibly into it. You got to hold on to it for a quarter. Usually the stock prices, it goes up or it goes down, but at the very least, you're getting it at a discount. So it's like extra money inside of your pocket for however much they let you allot into it. But Mr. Daniels, everyone knows that if someone writes or makes up some information about you on the internet, then it's 1,000% true. I don't know what's going on, Prince. I have no idea. But anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tap into After Hours tonight. It's going to be popping. After Hours tonight is going to be popping. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Great show. Great show. You guys are awesome. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all share this with your family and friends because we don't want to be successful by ourselves. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon and we going to run it up. I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace.